Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations. We are going to finish up all of this UI in this episode so that we can get back to the stuff that's already commonly known and get that all set up, and then we can deep dive into the components and all of that. So we ended here at the inventory. We created the inventory, but there's something we need to do in the code so that we can temporarily make sure everything is working. So we're going to go into the graph and we are going to create two custom events. This one will be show inventory, and then we'll just copy and paste, hit F2, hide inventory. Whoops. There we go. And then we're going to get owning player and set input mode. Drag that in here. We're going to call for input mode of menu, and we're going to capture permanently and show mouse cursor. Now for the other one, we'll do a copy and paste again. But this time, the input mode will be game, and this will be no capture, and we'll check mark that. Click compile and save. Last thing we need to do before we end this is show inventory, which we made right here. Put it in the construct, so it will automatically show it when we hit play. So we want to know it works before we continue on to the input handlers. All right. So now, let me open up my deal here because this gets slightly complicated. Let's go into the content drawer here. We want to open our HUD. And the first thing we are going to look for in our is to add our inventory. So inventory, WBP inventory. Add it there. I'm going to select it. I'm going to always check size to content. And then I'm going to put the anchor in the top right. And zero that out so it's where it belongs. And alignment, I believe it's this one. We changed to a 1. Yes, it is. And then we're going to go with -20 and 20. There we go. Now, the reason we want the anchor here is when the backpack grows, we want the inventory to go to the left, not go off the screen to the right. That's another reason why we also want to size to content. Then we're good to go. In the graph, that's what we do now. That's not what we're doing in the currently in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't do the graph stuff until the next step. So we'll hit compile and save. Now when we hit play, okay, so the primary stuff is working. Our backpack slots aren't showing up. We need to find out why, because it just worked for me last time. So let me take a quick look and investigate, and I'll be right back. All right, I see what I missed here. Right here, item widget class. We need to make sure we select that. Compile and save. Now if we hit play, apparently not. All right, so after looking through everything, that one fix that I did was all that was needed. I had to restart the project. Once I restarted the project, I hit play, and as you can see, I have my slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20. There's 20 of them there. Now, if you're like, well, How do we know it's working? That's a great question. If we come here to our gas, data tables, oh, that's right, ours is an inventory data. We come here to this, and we come to our stack limit, and let's put it at 50. And we hit save. Then we hit play. Look at that. More inventory slots. So that's how we know it's working, ladies and gentlemen. So now that we know everything is working, we will get everything set up correctly so that it's not just automatically showing up, because that's not how inventories work in video games. So the next thing we need to do, let me close that, is we go into my HUD here. The first thing we want to do is come in here to graph, and in event construct, we get the inventory, and we set visibility to collapsed. Compile and save. Now, when you play, it's working. But as you can see, we still got the mouse showing up. It's kind of ridiculous. And that is because here in the... Where are we? Is it in the inventory itself? Yes, right here. Let's remove this. And we'll keep those there for now because I can't remember exactly if we use them. Now if we hit play, there we go. We're back to normal. Everything's good to go. Now then. Now we need to go to... There's a couple of things we need to do. I am trying to find. Now this is where things get very complicated in the documentation. It took me and one other individual to figure it out, which is fine. Now the documentation is being updated to reflect that, which means that this was the method you did it when he made some changes. That's in the documentation, I mean. And we're going to go ahead and make sure everything works now. So, first things first, let's go ahead and we need to open up our HUD. Not the HUD widget, the HUD. Game mode, my HUD. Here we go. And the first thing we need to do, sorry, I'm pulling up my project again to go to my HUD, is there is an interface that we need to add. So let's go ahead and add that now. We come over here to class settings, and it is called HUD Event Dispatcher Interface. And then the next thing we need to do is open this up, pull out of here, switch on gameplay tag. We will hit the pin, and we will change the gameplay tag to UI action. It's not here yet. Add subtag. Make sure you put in the source dot inventory. Add tag. There we go. There we go. We have this ready. Now let's go back into the HUD. And we need to create ourselves, by HUD, I mean the HUD widget. We need to create ourselves a couple, I think actually only one function. Okay, and that is correct. That's all we need to do, which means these can be deleted. Compile and save. So delete those that are in the inventory because they're not needed because we're doing everything in the HUD. We're going to create a function called toggle inventory window. And then we're going to get the WBP inventory because that's what we need. And we will set visibility. And it is going to be set based off of get visibility. We're going to do select. Do that. Now I'm not going to pretend that I fully understand how this is working. I just know it works. And you're going to accept that with me. But I'm sure over time we'll figure it out as we learn more about the UI. So for visible, we want collapsed. For collapsed, we want visible. For hidden, we want visible. For not hit, we want not hit testable. So just to confirm, visible equals collapsed, collapsed equals visible, hidden equals visible, not hit testable. Okay, we are good to go there. Now we're going to add a reroute node right here so we can pull off of it and do get visibility. We're going to do the function. And then we will hit the equal sign. We want the equal enum. I'm going to move that right here. Change this to collapsed. Then we'll hold down B and hit the left click to bring up a branch. Okay. And then what we do next is get owning player. And set input mode. Put that in here. We'll change you to game. Capture permanently, including initial mouse down. And if false, we still want this. We're here to false. Select you right there. But now it will be menu. Capture during mouse down. Show cursor. We'll hit compile and save. All right. So the next thing that we do is we're going to hop back over to our HUD blueprint. We're going to get our HUD widget reference, pull out of there the toggle inventory window, plug that into the UI action inventory. So now that we have this ready, we need to get the handler inputs set up so that we can do this properly. All right, so let's go ahead and get this part done. We got to get all the inputs done. So go here to input, input actions, right click. We're going to search for input. We'll see input actions up here. IA inventory. Let's open it up. And under the triggers, we will place pressed. Let's save. Come back in here to input, IMC controls. We'll open a new one, inventory. I'm going to make mine I. We will hit save. Now we need to create the input handler. This is our first time dealing with input handlers, but it certainly will not be the last time. So let us go ahead and create that. I'm going to close all these. They're not needed anymore, and they're just busying everything up. Okay, open this up. We're going to create a new folder called Input Handlers. Right click, input handler right there. IH inventory. We will open this up. Ninja input handler. I think I did something a little wrong, which is fine. Give me a second. Yes, I did. This is the base input handler. We don't want this. So let's go back to it. We're going to first close it. Content drawer. We don't want this one. I don't think I can change the parent from here. Go into blueprint class and search for send UI event. Input handler. There we go. IH inventory. There we go. That looks right. Now then, what we want to do now is right here in the event tag, go to UI, actions, inventory. And then we will choose the input action that this equates to. Hit compile and save. Come over here to, we don't need that. Go back into our inputs to get the NIS controls. Hit the plus sign. Search for inventory and hit save. Everything has validated. Now when we open it and I hit I, look at that, it showed up. When I hit I again, it disappears. Now, that is everything that is currently available as far as guides go. I'm going to be diving more into it so we can dive more into inventory and to its items. Now, something that's important to note that even though we do not see it, if I click and drag and then let go over something, it will place it. So that does work. But now that we have this set up to the point that I understand currently, we're going to dive back into combat and start getting all of that fleshed out to make sure that we have all the guides rounded out so that we have a solid foundation for us to build more abilities, adding more attributes, and also understanding more about inventory for things like potions and eventually arrows for our bows. So there's a lot that we're going to be going over the next few months. But for this week, we will get all of the rest of the guide stuff all fleshed out so that we are ready to go on the journey together from that point forward. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.